Hello, I'm Catherine Ray with the Dragon Corporation. You may have seen my previous presentation on permit to take water from 2020 or March 2025. I've updated some of the slides and information for this presentation to include recent regulatory updates. If you would like to reach out, here's my contact information. This presentation is targeted towards people working in industrial, agricultural, construction, and recreational industries that may require significant volumes of water to operate. This presentation will cover when a permit to take water is required, exceptions, the types of permits, the fee for a permit to take water, expiry and reporting requirements, when you can use the Environmental Activity and Sector Registry, or EASR, instead of a permit to take water, information about the EASR, and lastly, how to use conservation practices to avoid needing a permit to take water. Under Ontario Regulation 38704, the Ontario Water Resources Act, a permit to take water is required when taking more than 50,000 liters of water per day from the environment for a long-term operation. Examples include water bottling facilities, food processing, cooling towers, and golf courses. Exceptions include emergency use such as firefighting, farm use such as livestock watering, irrigation of crops for sale still require a permit to take water, domestic use, and certain grandfathered operations. There are three types of permits. A Category 1 permit is the least stringent. A Category 1 permit is for water takings that are unlikely to pose adverse environmental impacts and no scientific study is required. Category 1 permit is used to renew an existing permit where the amount, purpose, location, and source are the same. Various conditions must be met for taking from either groundwater-fed or surface water-fed ponds. You cannot take more than 1 million liters of water per day from the Great Lakes. A Category 2 permit is used for short-term, non-recurring water takings and requires a qualified person, or QP, to conduct a technical review. When taking from groundwater, you cannot take water for more than 7 days or cannot take water on more than 30 consecutive days and more than 400,000 liters per day. When taking from a surface water, requirements include taking less than 19 million liters of water per day from the Great Lakes or connecting channels, taking from a source where a previous assessment has been completed, taking from one source for a short time and returning it to a nearby point with no significant changes to quality or quantity, taking less than 1 million liters a day twice a week from water bodies greater than 10 hectares, taking less than 5% from rivers and streams with a 7-day flow with a 20-year return period. A Category 3 permit to take water is the most stringent. In order to obtain this type of permit, a technical assessment by a qualified person and a pre-submission consultation with the MECP are required. A Category 3 permit is required when the water takings don't meet the Category 1 or Category 2 criteria, when taking from groundwater or surface water, and for surface water takings, it is a new taking from a first or second order water course, wetland, pond, or groundwater source that potentially affects surface water. The fee paid to the MECP when submitting your permit to take water application is $750 for a Category 1 or Category 2 permit to take water, and $3,000 for a Category 3 permit to take water. Your permit will list the expiry date. It is important to renew your permit before it expires to ensure continued legal water taking. If you let your permit expire, you could have delays in getting a new permit and increased costs. Once you have your permit to take water, you need to record and submit your annual water taking volumes online by March 31st. And beginning September 1st, 2025, all permit to take water applications must be submitted through the online application system. In some cases, registering in the EASR is more appropriate than obtaining a permit to take water. The EASR is used for short-term applications and is applicable for the following purposes: construction site dewatering, highway and transit projects, and pumping tests that are less than 7 days in a 30-day period. No permit is required, and you can register your activity in the easer by filing information related to eligibility criteria in the system. You must meet criteria and activity requirements as described in the regulation. As of July 1st, 2025, you can self-register additional construction dewatering activities online in the easer instead of applying for environmental permissions that require ministry review. A technical assessment will need to be prepared by a qualified person. Previous volumetric restrictions for registering commercial industrial construction dewatering activities have been removed, enabling water taking to start immediately without a permit to take water or environmental compliance approval. And low-risk residential foundation drainage systems are now exempt from requiring environmental permissions under OREG 38704, as long as less than 379,000 liters of groundwater are removed per day. This work does not require a permit to take water or to self-register online. An easer can be used for construction site dewatering when taking more than 50,000 liters of groundwater and or stormwater on at least one day, or taking less than 400,000 liters per day of groundwater. Stormwater includes rainwater runoff, snowmelt, surface runoff, and roof runoff. Prescribed activities within a construction site include taking groundwater or stormwater for the purpose of creating or maintaining one or more dewatered work areas, and sewage works that are used solely for collecting, transmission, treatment, and disposal of stormwater and groundwater taken from one or more dewatered work areas within a construction site. Considerations for registering in the easer for construction projects include: the construction site includes the entire construction project. You do not need to register if water taking is 100% stormwater. A QP must prepare a water taking report. The easer for construction dewatering does not apply to mines, pits, or quarries. For easers for highway and transit projects, prescribed activities include hydro demolition, cleaning and flushing, dust suppression, compaction of earth and granular materials, seeding, mulching, sodding, or landscaping, on-site preparation of materials for highway and transit projects. Under the easer, highway and transit projects can take water from a lake with a surface area greater than 10 hectares, a pond that is not connected to another water body, such as a creek, stream, or river, or a permanent stream that has an order of 3 or more. For highway and transit projects, each highway project requires its own easer. Required if taking more than 50,000 liters of water on at least one day. There are water use and water body restrictions. A QP must prepare a water body report. If water taking exceeds 1 year, then you need to provide written notice to the municipality and conservation authority. It needs to meet an Environmental Assessment Act requirement. For easers for pumping tests, a pump test is used to obtain information about the aquifer from which the well takes its water. It needs to be conducted at a well, cannot take water for more than 7 days within a 30-day period, cannot take more than 5 million liters of groundwater on any given day, required if taking more than 50,000 liters on at least one day during the pumping test. The site cannot be a mine site or where mine exploration is occurring. The site cannot involve the transferring of water out of the Great Lakes, St. Lawrence River Basin, the Nelson River Basin, or the Hudson Bay Basin, and cannot transfer water from one Great Lake watershed to another. Depending on your situation, there are conservation practices that you can take to avoid obtaining a permit. You can use a lined pond or tank, and you can schedule water takings over multiple days to avoid exceeding 50,000 liters. In summary, a permit to take water is required if taking more than 50,000 liters per day from the environment, with some exceptions. There are 3 types of permits: A Category 1 permit is the least stringent, and a Category 3 permit is the most stringent. Category 2 and 3 permits require a QP to conduct an assessment. The cost ranges from $750 to $3,000 for permits. Make sure you renew your permit before it expires and submit your annual volumes online. Use the easer instead of the permit to take water for construction dewatering, road construction, and pumping tests. As of July 1st, 2025, you can self-register additional construction dewatering activities. The previous volumetric restrictions for registering commercial industrial construction dewatering have been removed, and low-risk residential foundation drainage systems are exempt from requiring a permit to take water or self-registering online. And finally, you can modify your behavior to avoid requiring a permit to take water and stay within your daily limits. Thank you. My contact information is listed. If you have any questions or require assistance with obtaining a permit, please feel free to contact me.